Can I survive 50 days in hardcore Minecraft? Well, let's find out by starting a new hardcore world. We spawned in a world full of bamboo, which is kinda neat. After grabbing some wood, I made myself some stone tools, mined a bit of coal next to this large cliff, and then proceeded to obliterate this massive jungle tree. With my wood supply set, I set off to explore the world, before quickly getting sidetracked by a shipwreck, with some mediocre loot in it. After making landfall, I found another shipwreck, and tore it to pieces before finally finding the chest, this time with some very good stuff in it. I kept going and found a pillager outpost, which is kind of scary, so I decided to avoid it for now, and discovered a village right next to it, which seems like it might be a bit dangerous, but it has a lava pool, so I decided to set up shop here, and I slept through my first night at my new home. If I'm going to survive here, I'll need my own place to stay. So I started smelting some sand and began building my very own home out here on the water. It looks good so far, but I'm going to need a lot of glass to make my vision come to life, so I spent a long time digging up sand to smelt, and I started placing down my floor. I'll need to drain the water, but that's going to come later. I finished building the walls, and since it was getting late, I headed back to my interim bed since I'm not really ready to fight any mobs just yet. And on to day 3 we go. I set off for a little bit of exploring and found myself a sunken pirate ship. I grabbed the treasure map and I found that it contained a lot of good stuff. Iron, gold, and a heart of the sea. I then returned to the house, continuing to place copious amounts of glass as fast as I could, and I ended the day by beginning my very first mine. Eventually, being rewarded with a cave full of iron, coal, and if I'm lucky, the ever-elusive diamonds. It was getting late, so I didn't spend too much time down here for stocking the furnaces, killing my first enemy, this lonesome zombie right here, and then was off to bed for the night. I started off the next day by making myself some armor, so I don't die. And then it was back to the house. Since I put the floor underwater, I placed a bunch of cobble and mined it away, clearing the water off it. I was then attacked by a drowned in the middle of my work, and if he had a trident, things could have ended very poorly for me. And the floor is officially complete, so I added my windows, leaving only the roof left to be taken care of. And here it is. Pretty nice, I think. And I can only hope that this will be the final night that I have to share in this villager's home. Since the floor is done, I moved all my stuff inside, and then went on a journey to kill cows and get more wood to finish things off. After returning home, I made a little dock for my boat, and then I returned to the mines. I grabbed a bunch more coal and iron before finally finding just some lapis. In 20 days when I can finally enchant, this will be useful, so I went ahead and stole it, before finding an even deeper cave. This one was massive, and that means an abundance of coal, iron, gold, and maybe even a few diamonds. I wanted to keep searching, but I saw an enderman and I proceeded to run for my life before he could kill me. I mined straight up since I forgot where my exit was and emerged into a cave filled with water. I thought I was dead. But I got lucky, and I managed to find the surface emerging into the light of day 6. I don't know exactly when the day changed, but it was certainly a successful day 5. I went ahead and finished off my iron armor, and crafted myself some new tools, as you can see. I grabbed myself some lava, and built a little incinerator so I could throw away my junk. And it works great. I checked out the pillager outpost. I wanted to attack it, but I decided to wait until I've got a bow and a couple arrows. But just look at them, standing there. Menacingly. A bow needs arrows, and I need XP, so let's take care of both of those things and hunt some mobs now that I have full armor. Even with a shield, skeletons are still scary, but I need the arrows, and after a nice hunt, I had my first sleep in my almost completed house. The next morning, I was accosted by an enderman. He taunted me with his power of teleportation before disappearing. But now that I have a bow and quite a few arrows, I think it's time to go take on that outpost. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the button, like the video, leave a comment, whatever you want to do really. I'll appreciate it regardless. Thanks. So, I killed my first pillager and freed the iron golem he was goading. This guy was more than happy to help me decimate the outpost. I freed another to join the fight, watch him get his first kill, and then I freed the third. With them patrolling outside, I went into the outpost, snuck my way upstairs, only to find it completely abandoned. I grabbed the loot, which was nothing particularly useful, killed the goat who decided to try and ambush me, and then I finally freed whatever this thing is. One of the golems is already nearing death, which could have been me thanks to this baby zombie. Luckily, he wasn't on a chicken, because a chicken jockey would have been much worse. It was starting to get late, so I decided to leave, not wanting to get caught between the infinite spawning pillagers and a couple of skeletons. From the outpost, I got this potion, which will spawn a raid if I use it. Not something I'm going to do on hardcore mode though. And the goat horn, which makes some sound. All in all, I call that a successful expedition. And it's finally time to finish off the house. So, I mined a bunch of wood and then finished off the roof. And the house looks great. I added some lanterns for the nice aesthetics, and as you can see, glass floor and a nice cross in the ceiling for light. Why don't we take a look from above? Ow! Okay, it looks pretty nice, and we have the dock and incinerator in the back as well. And with that done, it's off to the mines. I descended back to the cave and found more lapis. I also got some gold and plenty of iron and coal, but the diamonds still elude me. I did find a zombie spawner though. I debated leaving it to farm XP, but I decided this is hardcore, better to be safe than sorry. So I destroyed it, grabbed the music disc, and some horse armor. I made my way back to the cavern, but after a bad fight against some skeletons, I knew I wasn't going to be able to stay here too long. So I staircased my way down, emerging into another cave with a massive lava pool. And on my way around it, I finally found them, diamonds! I made sure that there were no mobs or anything around to kill me, and got to mining. I need 5 to be set, which is a lot to ask for, but I found 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The exact number that I needed, actually. I grabbed the redstone nearby, cause why not, and so did my trek back. Killed a creeper and realized I was being stalked by an enderman, so I ran for my life and emerged back at the surface, filled up my furnaces, and crafted my diamond pick. I harvested and then increased my sugarcane farm, and I went to bed for the night. I went ahead and obsidianed this lava pool here. I need to be careful not to fall in and die, so I added some water for safety. You don't need to see half the day wasted mining this, so here's what it looked like when I finished. And I went ahead and built a nice platform for my new enchantment table behind the house, and gave it a nice ocean view, you know? I'll need more bookshelves for max enchantments though. After that, I also built the nether portal, so I'm gonna head in whenever I want, really. I spent the evening fighting mobs for more XP, and led these 2 baby zombies over to the golem to keep myself safe. I made my first trip into the nether and was not a fan of my spawn. Not a single fortress in sight, just a lot of soul sand. In order to survive, I'm gonna need some enchantments, so I began slaughtering cows for their leather, and made friends with a few wolves along the way. And with only enough leather for 24 bucks, I'm gonna need to go get more. I finally decided to tame a horse on the next day, and donned him in the golden armor, before checking in on the outpost and repairing the golems. I went back to the nether and dropped some water cauldrons just in case I managed to catch on fire. I then built my way up the cliff and added in some walls just to make sure I couldn't fall into the lava and kill myself. With the barriers up and the path forward clear, I returned home and took the dogs out on their first hunt. Zombies aren't afraid and they'll just try and walk through the dogs to get me. The dogs are afraid of the creepers and won't even touch them. Too afraid of getting blown up, I imagine. And the skeletons are a bit cowardly, running as soon as they see the dogs. Look at these 2. So brave until the wolves show up, then they start running for their lives. The next day, I returned to the nether for a little exploring, and stole myself some bone blocks, so I'm gonna be set if I want to grow anything, unfortunately, other than sugarcane. And though it doesn't seem like a fortress is near, a bastion apparently is. A bastion is a building full of gold, good loot, lava, and piglings. I will most likely die trying to invade it, and they don't have blaze rods, so I'll just leave it for later. And with no blocks to make my route, and a bastion within my sight, I decided to head home, where I finished the day off with a little more hunting, getting ever closer to level 30. So, if you can't tell, I got some puppies, so soon I'll have even more dogs ready to fight for me. I'll post a few more bookshelves, and we only need I think 1 or 2 more to get max enchantments. I stupidly decided to hunt cows in the dead of night, but luckily for me, I had my guards around to take care of any mobs thinking they had the right to exist. Not sure where they all came from, but we had to take out this gang of zombies in order to survive. And finally, in the opening hours of the next day, I've made it to level 30. Full enchantments are now available, or, well, 1 to be exact. And on day 14, another milestone has been reached, and the enchantment table is finally done. I wasted a few levels since I didn't see the enchantment that I wanted, which is infinity. I'm not going to waste any more though, so I'll just have to hope I get it when I try. And it's back to the nether. I bought some blocks this time so I can find my way home. But it was at this point that I was attacked by 2, count 'em, 2 ghast. Since I, stupidly, didn't bring a bow with me, I had to deflect their fireballs back at them. After failing numerous times, finally managed to return one to sender. I had some close calls with the other one, but couldn't get him and fled to safety to heal up. I didn't want him following me, so I went back, got right up in his face, and finally managed to kill him. Low on health and stuck on soul sand, I nearly fell victim to a third ghast, but I managed to escape, healed up, and made my way back to the nether portal. I ended the day with an attempt at my infinity bow, but I failed and just got a powered up flame bow instead. Still good, but not what I wanted. As you can see, we are truly on day 15. I've been keeping track, don't worry. I went off on a journey hoping to find new lands, maybe a chasm or two, a shipwreck, perchance? But I didn't find anything of value, and I didn't really do anything for the rest of the day. I spent the morning of day 16 mining away, finding the long blue mineral again, and a massive cache of coal. Sadly, no diamonds, and no iron. It was a rainy evening, which means plenty of mobs, so I went hunting and killed my first witch. I had my dogs take care of these spiders, and then spotted a skeleton in full golden armor. My axe broke immediately upon joining the fight, but I killed the skeleton, and I left my dogs to fend for themselves while I got a new axe. It's been a while since I got a full night's sleep, so these sky phantoms started attacking me, so I decided to end the night in my bed. I went out and killed this baby zombie before watching the phantoms burn up in the daylight. And then I died to the creeper hiding in the sugarcane. If I hadn't jumped onto land at that exact moment, I most likely would have survived the blast. But I wasn't expecting him, and I paid the price for my distraction. Being encased in iron and near full health didn't matter, the creeper got me. A sad way to end a very promising run, and nowhere near 50 days. So, it looks like we're gonna have to do another attempt, because I'm pretty confident I can do this. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.